Round for round boxing. Round for round boxing, new boxing game in development for Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 4. www.roundforroundboxing.com. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. For those of you who haven't subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button. So here we are, Luis Ortiz versus Dillian Whyte. And first of all, apologies, we haven't been on the air. As you will have seen on the videos, we've been in Leeds, the training camp, doing an in-depth coverage of amateur boxing. And if you'll see the videos there, you'll see different videos on the channel at the moment. So, Brother McGregor, I hope you're well. So, a good in-depth look at amateur boxing, and you'll get to see all sorts of stuff. There's a show coming up on December the 1st. They're doing some really great stuff there at the gym in Leeds. It's always great to cover. Yes, Lowland Profits. Good to see you in the room, brother. It's always great to cover, you know, the big fights and all the superstar boxers, but they started somewhere. They started at the grassroots. Now, I don't know if this fight's official or not. There's talk that it will be official and it's going to be December 22nd. I don't know if it's official or not. But remember, this was a fight that was mooted back in July and we got the Joseph Parker fight instead. As I will talk about this in a second. I just want to get into some other things first. Again, congratulations to Jessica McCaskill. Once again, another fighter that most of the boxing media more or less ignored. And once again has come through the ranks and now has become world champion, stepped up in weight, fought the number one fighter in that division. You haven't fought for a year, you move up in weight, and you fight the baddest ass fighter in the division, moving up in weight, and you beat her. I mean, that stuff is great. So Jessica McCaskill deserves all the credit in the world for that. And we are once again just honored to have Jessica McCaskill on the channel, the new WBC super lightweight champion of the world. There were lightweights that weren't interested in fighting her. Katie Taylor had no interest in having a rematch with Jessica McCaskill. And also Chantel Cameron, who was offered the opportunity, according to Rick Ramos, the manager and trainer of Jessica McCaskill. I didn't want to know either. Even blocked him on Facebook and on Twitter. So they moved up in weight, did their own thing. And what a move by Ricardo Ramos. That's fantastic, because I don't know how many managers would have stuck their fighter, a hometown show, first time fighting at home on the zone show, moving up in weight, and then going on and become a world champion. I mean, in a fight you could have got knocked out in. That takes some kudos. That really takes something. Also, other news. It looks, I got approached the other day to manage a boxer. Believe it or not. Hold on a second. Telephone going. All happening when you're live. Hello. Hi, it's not convenient at the moment. The beauty of live streams. Let's see where we are now. Am I back live? Yep, I am. Great. So, yeah, where was I? So, congratulations for them to do that. Now, let's get on with this fight between Luis Ortiz and Dillian Whyte. As you see in the title here, it says Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz, another dead-end fight. This, in my opinion, is an absolute dead-end fight. I said it with the Derek Chisora fight. I said it with this Luis Ortiz. I'm saying the Luis Ortiz fight. absolute dead end. Oh, back to my point. Yeah, a fighter approached me recently and wants me to manage them. Believe it or not. So there's a possibility I might be getting into the world of boxing management. Unbelievable. Yeah, the further I try and run away from the sport, the more I get dragged back into it. So gonna pull on all my resources and people that I know within the sport that are close and good friends to seek out their advice. And so far, they've been very helpful indeed. Yeah, so let's talk about this. Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz. Again, as far as I'm concerned, this is an absolute dead-end fight. And I'll explain why I think it's an absolute dead-end fight. First of all, Dillian Whyte, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll keep on saying it. Dillian Whyte is second in the pecking order to AJ. Everything goes via AJ. So AJ doesn't want to fight Luis Ortiz. Dillian Whyte fights him. Or you fight AJ's leftovers, which is Joseph Parker. So to me, if you fight Derek Chisora or you fight Luis Ortiz, they're both pretty difficult fights, both durable fighters, and both will take something out of you. You look at Joseph Parker, you know, he's a tough fight. You're not going to knock him out in a round or two. Wear and tear. As a manager or as a potential manager or somebody looking at the sport and looking at Dillian Whyte, I would have got Dillian Whyte way away from Eddie Hearn personally. And it's not a personal gripe with Eddie Hearn. It's just business. You've got one body, okay, one brain, and this sport is about being rendered unconscious. I say this. Why they talk about loyalty in boxing? Listen, there is no loyalty for me when you are being put in a position. Yeah, you're getting big paydays or good paydays. But you could be a world champion now, as far as I'm concerned, or at least fighting for a world title. Why are you fighting Derek Chisora again in a fight that you possibly could lose, and in a fight that quite a few people in boxing thought you lost? Then you want to go and fight Luis Ortiz. Why you want to go and fight Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz, you're going backwards. Because for me, Joseph Parker at least was a world champion. Derek Chisora, okay, domestic dust-up. Okay, now you're fighting Luis Ortiz. Well, okay, as revealed on our channel, via Amir Mansour, Luis Ortiz was over 45. It was revealed on our channel. And then the world starts talking about Luis Ortiz's age, when before people believed Luis Ortiz's box rec was, he was 38 or 39. So for me, I don't think, in my personal opinion, that fighting and beating Luis Ortiz proves anything. First of all, Luis Ortiz has never been a world champion. Never been a world champion, despite everyone calling him a bogeyman. It's amazing how 1 minute he's a bogeyman, the most dangerous man in the division, when Deontay Wilder fights him. Okay. Deontay Wilder beats him, but then these people come out and say, oh, well, Deontay Wilder was almost on the verge of getting knocked out. Well, you can make a point for anything in the case of this. I could have said, oh, well, AJ was on the verge of getting knocked out when he fought Dillian Whyte. Or I could say AJ was on the verge of getting knocked out when he fought Vladimir Klitschko. People make excuses and come up with some of the most silliest things. And so I come back to this to say this. If Dillian Whyte beats Luis Ortiz, well, according to most people, including those who are of the Tyson Fury mindset, Deontay Wilder's a bum. Okay? This is what Tyson's. He's a bum. All right? According to a lot of people in boxing, he's a windmill artist. He can't box. He's just a puncher. And all you have to do is watch out for the right hand. Those who've studied Deontay Wilder closer will see that there's a lot more to Deontay Wilder than just the right hand. That he sets his punches pretty nicely. He just gets a bit reckless when he's trying to take you out of there. But before that, he doesn't windmill his way. He works behind a nice jab, a nice effective jab, and sets up the right hand nicely. And he did it against the most skilled heavyweight in the world, which is Luis Ortiz. So what is it? What's the situation? Luis Ortiz got knocked out by a bum, which was Deontay Wilder. If you're from that standpoint, well, why is Dillian Whyte fighting Luis Ortiz? Because Luis Ortiz is a bum. He got knocked out by a bum. If you're from the standpoint of, well, Luis Ortiz is 49 years old or he's 48 years old, why do you want to fight Luis Ortiz, who's 48 or 49 years old? So we got to make our minds up, boxing fans, whether Luis Ortiz is a danger man or not, whether he's 48 or 49 or not, and does it really matter? I mean, George Foreman was 46 or 47 when he knocked out Michael Moorer. And everybody talking about that when he fought Evander Holyfield and gave him fits in that fight. You know, or Larry Holmes when he was fighting against Evander Holyfield as well and giving Holyfield problems in that fight. And they haven't said anything about that. It's only these casuals, these people who are new to the sport who are talking about age. Bernard Hopkins boxing up to close to 50 and still giving people a run around and being good. So to me, at this point in time, if I would, this is backward thinking. For me, if I'm Dillian Whyte, I force my promoter and my management, listen, get me that fight with Fresequendo. Get me that fight with Fresequendo. I want that WBA strap. I get the WBA strap, and then I can make title defenses against Luis Ortiz, Derek Chisora. I'll keep on banging about this over and over and over again. Yeah, it's about making money. Of course, it's about making money in boxing. So I don't know what all this big talk about Luis Ortiz is. I really don't know. I can't see it. I really can't. I really can't. And I'll keep on talking about it. To me, it's a dead end fight. To me, and check this out. As a manager, if I'm managing Dillian Whyte, it's lose-lose. There's no win-win here. We know you'll fight anybody, Dillian Whyte. Only those who want to stir up trouble think that, and when I say stir up trouble, those of the narrative that Dillian Whyte should protect AJ, those people who expect their best interest to see AJ protected and Dillian Whyte do all the dirty work, those people, from that narrative, yeah, those people would disagree with what I'm saying. Now, if Luis Ortiz knocks out Dillian Whyte in the UK, that is devastating on a number of reasons. First of all, you're getting knocked out by a 48 or 49-year-old. That's the first thing. Well, Dillian Whyte is self-managed. Well, in that case then, Dillian, if you're listening to me, brother, listen. I hope you're listening to me, because I know sometimes we hard of hearing. Stop this business about trying to fight Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz hasn't even got a fan base. Luis Ortiz's fan base is on Twitter and on Facebook. He ain't got no fan base. Luis Ortiz has not got a fan base. He's not a ticket seller. Why are you fighting Luis Ortiz? Brother, come out of that nonsense, man. Come out of that nonsense. Come out of it. Because if you get beat by Luis Ortiz, there is high risk and no reward. High risk, no reward. Absolutely capital N-O, no reward. Why do you want to fight Luis Ortiz? What do you prove? You're WBC #1 contender. Dominic Brazil is another one. This is another one, right? And it's like, if watch this. If Dillian Whyte fights, if Dillian Whyte beats Luis Ortiz, then they'll bring out Dominic Brazil. You notice how Dominic Brazil seems to appear again. No, he's not 39 years old. Nappy, he's not 39 years old. He's not 39 years old. He's not 39 years old. Now that's Amir Mansour, all right, who told us that. He's not 39 years old. But Whyte was running his mouth off to King Kong to fight him. Really? So what? For you? No. You could fight King Kong in a defense of the WBA title. Win the WBA regular title. You know what? That's one thing I love about David Haye. He saw business sense. David Haye was scheduled to fight Vitaly Klitschko. That's one thing I respect David Haye for. The only thing. He was meant to fight Vitaly Klitschko, and he saw Valuev. He knew if he'd gone to the negotiating table with hands empty, there's nothing you can negotiate with. But now if he goes to fight Valuev, skips out the Vitaly Klitschko fight, say he damages back, get the Valuev fight, then he comes to the table as a WBA heavyweight champion of the world. Then he negotiates himself, gets a couple of title defenses, Audie Harrison, Ruiz, and then he fights a unification bout against Vladimir Klitschko. Win, lose, or draw, it's a big money fight. It's on HBO. Bye-bye, HBO. But yeah, there you go. Well, I can assure you this. You're not going to find out who the best is with Dillian Whyte fighting Luis Ortiz. All you're going to find out is who's next for AJ. I hope Dillian Whyte skips out of the Chisora fight, skips out of the Ortiz fight, and goes for the WBA title strap. I really do. I really do. And I'll tell you something else as well. There's another problem that people are not looking at, or they're ignoring. Should Hughie Fury beat Kubrat Pulev, then he'll be in the #1 spot for the IBF. That's another mandatory. That's another problem. And Peter Fury and Hughie Fury will be pushing for a fight against AJ. There's another problem right there. Dillian Whyte needs to say goodbye to the WBC and go across and fight for the WBA title. He for me, he really needs to consider thinking about what he's doing with his career here, Dillian Whyte. If he's thinking it's all about the money, then he's going to be short-sighted. Yes, Razor Ramon. How you doing, brother? Yeah, both Chisora and Ortiz, if I'm his manager, are non-starters. 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 I tell you 3 non-starters. Jarrell Miller, Luis Ortiz, Derek Chisora. Oh, I'll throw another non-starter. Dominic Brazil. First of all, Dominic Brazil. Who have you fought since you got knocked out by AJ? 1. 2. Luis Ortiz. High risk, no reward. 48, 49 years old. Knocked up by a bum, according to many, including Tyson Fury, by Deontay Wilder. Why do you want to get knocked out by a 49-year-old? And if there's a possibility of getting knocked out by a 49 or 48-year-old, that's not good. Career ending there. Well, not career ending. You're the laughing stock of world boxing after the 2 good fights you've given us with Lucas Browne and Joseph Parker. Now, you tell me how many other heavyweights are as active as Dillian Whyte, bar AJ. So you've got AJ's fought Povetkin, Klitschko, Takam, Parker, all around the top 10, and Klitschko. Yeah, all around the top 10. And even Molina as well. Forget Molina. But all around the top 10 in title defenses. You've got Dillian Whyte, who's fought Joseph Parker and fought Lucas Browne. Lucas Browne wasn't he for the WBC? He was going to get a #1 title shot. He was mandatory to fight Wilder. That never happened. Then he was fighting Joseph Parker, mandatory for the WBC title. Those are 2 mandatory shots he was fighting, eliminators or mandatory shots that he's fought for or fighting for. That I don't think. I think smoke and mirrors. I just don't think it's going to happen for him. So I leave Eddie Hearn. He's in a contract. I leave Eddie Hearn and I go to Frank Warren, and I go with BT Sports, and I march to get a WBA title shot, and then I make a few defenses of my WBA title, topping the bill. You know, one of my title defenses could be against Chisora. My next title defense could be against Dominic Brazil. My next title defense could be against Luis Ortiz. There you go. There's 3 title defenses as world heavyweight champion. Listen, and one of them title defenses I gotta make in Jamaica. That makes business sense. A Jamaican heavyweight champion of the world that decides that goes back to Jamaica and defends his title there. To me, that makes sense. That makes sense. You're right. Dillian Whyte needs to go for a belt as soon as possible. Absolutely. Do you think Hearn cares about Dillian Whyte? All Hearn cares about is money. That's it. And that's what he's meant to do. That's why Hearn is as successful as he is. These people about money. It's not about personality. It's not about if I like this person, that person, or if, this is about taking, this is about making as much money as possible for his children, his children's children, and the Hearn's legacy. That's all that's about. And all these people talk about minor belts. You know what? That's minor in your eyes, but not minor in the WBA's eyes. And for me, the WBA title is out there. The same belt that Povetkin had, the same belt that David Haye had. It's only devalued by people who don't understand the era that we're in. We're in an era of boxing where if you want to go down that route about belts and really want to go down that route about belts, well, then why don't we just keep the WBC belt? Why don't we just keep the WBC belt? That means AJ's got minor belts. If you want to go down that, if you really want to go down the minor belts route, let's just go down the route of the WBC, which Wilder's got. The most prestigious belt in boxing, the WBC belt. The WBC, the green belt. I know it's got a lot of things said about it, but it is the belt, the WBC belt. If you want to go down minor titles, then in that case, then the WBC is the belt in boxing. So if you want to talk about lower weight belts or lower belts, for me, this is about business and about money. And I don't care what anybody says. If I'm managing Dillian Whyte, I say, Dillian, let's go fight for this WBA belt. On your record, it will say WBA heavyweight champion of the world. Now, if Luis Ortiz had that WBA heavyweight championship of the world, would people say, oh, yeah, cool. And by the way, that WBA belt, that super belt that Klitschko and Joshua fought for, I'm sure that was vacant because Klitschko wasn't champion and Joshua and Tyson had vacated the belt. So if you want to talk about minor belts, that belt was vacated by Tyson Fury. So if you want to go down that road, yeah, I think that he should go. Dillian Whyte should go to Jamaica and have a fight and even start and build a Dillian Whyte academy out there, boxing academy out there. That would be something, brother. That's legacy we're talking there. Legacy. Trevor Berbick, rest in peace, was the last Jamaican heavyweight champion. Well, there you go. Even Donovan Razor Ruddock was never heavyweight champion of the world. And Dillian Whyte, you're in a great position to become a heavyweight champion of the world. You're in a great position for the West Indies and for the Caribbean. This is something. You see, AJ is always talking about, the UK and Nigeria. We need someone in the heavyweight division from the Caribbean. That would be great for the Caribbean. Dillian Whyte becoming WBA heavyweight champion of the world. Now you're talking business. Now we're talking business. This, if you want exciting fights, fans can wait. Fans can wait. As far as I'm concerned, Dillian, the fans can wait. You've given the fans the Joseph Parker fight. You've given the fans the Lucas Brown fight. You've given them the fights. Mike McCallum was a great Jamaican fighter, but he wasn't a heavyweight. So we're talking heavyweights here. So you've given the boxing fans it. And Dominic Brazil is a terrible option for Whyte. Because I ask you the question, who has Dominic Brazil fought outside of AJ? Or since he got knocked out by AJ, who's he fought? Who's he fought? Who's he fought? So Razor says, Boxing fans just want to be entertained. The best fighting the best. But in a boxing sense, it would be a big risk for Whyte to fight Ortiz. Hold on. But you're getting the best fighting the best. Don't get it. You're getting the best fighting the best. You're fighting Wilder versus Fury. Isn't that the best fighting the best? Isn't that what you want? You had Joshua fight Povetkin. Povetkin was ranked number 3. Joshua just beat him. Then you've got Fury and Wilder. What more do you want? Yeah, he fought the Polish Nigerian and almost got knocked out. No one. Absolutely no one. I'm just talking business. I'll watch Whyte fight in Jamaica just to hear him talk Jamaican in the conference. There you go. So, Dillian, please, please, please listen to me. Please. Derek Chisora and Lucas and Luis Ortiz fights are great fights to have. Yes. But have the WBA belt around your waist. No, Dominic Brazil has as number 1 mandatory position based on what, please? You say Dillian Whyte shouldn't be running his mouth. What do you suggest that he does to stay active? Obviously, you're not listening to me. He should fight for the WBA title. He should fight for the regular title. Become WBA regular title champion. That's management. And then defend your titles against whoever. That's how you make money in this business. That's how he stays active. Dominic Brazil is number 1 mandatory position fighting whom? Who did he fight? Who did he fight to be number 1 mandatory? Can I ask you a question? Do you see anybody who brings up Dominic Brazil now are definitely people that are of the hide and protect AJ camp. Absolutely. Char, you can't fight Char because Char's been done for drugs, which I could see happening. I think Dillian Whyte should fight for the WBA strap. I really do. I really do. Yeah, but the thing is, Dillian Whyte's fought 2 guys already. He's fought Parker and he's fought Brown. Those were 2 ranked heavyweights in the top 10. Nobody's saying he doesn't have to fight Luis Ortiz. Nobody's saying he shouldn't fight Luis Ortiz. He can still fight Luis Ortiz. But from a managerial perspective, from boxing sense and boxing business, and not just fans who just don't understand boxing business, I think for boxing business sense, my job as a manager would be to get Dillian Whyte a fight for the WBA heavyweight championship of the world. WBA rankings, that's why Brazil's mandatory. Yeah, I know it's politics. Of course it is. Do you think Whyte should fight in December? Only if it's for the WBA title. That's not his style. He will literally fight anyone. I think he'll fight that. No. You can fight anybody, but become world champion first. Then have that. When you become heavyweight champion of the world, it opens certain doors for you. It opens certain doors for you. Oh, by the way, if we get anybody in this room that's trying to be difficult or starts being rude, please feel free, because you've got a wrench. Do the good stuff. The best should fight the best. The best are fighting the best. Wilder fought Povetkin. Wilder is fighting Fury. Joshua is fighting Povetkin. There's 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. What are you talking about? The WBA title will open the world for Dillian Whyte. Those who do not understand the behind the scenes of boxing, when you become a WBA champion, fans don't understand this because they don't have to go around a negotiating table. But once you have a WBA title, heavyweight championship of the world, you can negotiate as a champion, not an interim champion, not a mandatory number one contender, but as a champion, you can negotiate. You can negotiate. See, people say things like, Whyte is young, he can come back. That sounds like you've just been you sound like you've been in the offices of Matchroom talking to Dillian Whyte. That rubbish. That rubbish don't fly with me. Oh, he can come back. Why does he need to come back? Obviously, you're not in the gym doing all the fighting. You're not the one taking all the punishment. So that's why you take that approach. No. If a manager would say, you know what? I want to get, this is why David Haye, the way David managed his career, not the way he did it. I'm not for the Fury shit. No, I don't respect David for that at all. But everything else, I respect David Haye for how he managed the career. Didn't care what the fans thought. He did what he had to do. He swerved Vitaly Klitschko, got value, became WBA heavyweight champion of the world, and he was celebrated for it. Think about this, Dillian Whyte. You become WBA heavyweight champion of the world, you will be celebrating this country. Forget the fans that say, oh, it's for mine belt. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about them because they don't understand the history of the WBC belt. So don't worry about the minor title belt. You take the belt and you make title defenses with that WBA strap. That's what you should do. You need to manage Dillian Whyte. But listen, it looks like I'm going to be managing a fighter soon anyway. So, yeah. And he's a good little fighter. Packs a bit of power. So, Mayweather ducked and cherry-picked his whole later career. He was entitled to do that. He was entitled to do that because all I saw in Mayweather's record with his fights was WBC, 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 WBC. How many WBC belts did Mayweather get? That was the belt in boxing. So I don't hear no stuff about cherry picking. I don't hear nothing about cherry picking. That resume, I don't know how many other fighters in the world today you could have with a resume like Mayweather's. Not saying Ortiz is old, but he used to spar with Sonny Liston. Why do you want to fight him? I don't understand it. Yeah, I agree with you, mate, but strike while the iron's hot. No, the iron ain't hot. You're going to get scalded. You're going to get burnt for life. You get beat by Luis Ortiz. I don't think there's going to be a boxing fan in this room that can repair Dillian Whyte's career. His career is finished. Because whatever's hanging over his head is he got knocked out by a 48, 49-year-old. No. Swerve that fight like a plague, as Froch would say. He's got a good voice in his ear than the boxer you're managing. I know. He doesn't have to wait for it. While all those guys are fighting, Joshua's made his move with Povetkin. Hughie's cleaned up with Pulev. And the other two are fighting. Wilder and Fury. It's a perfect time for Dillian Whyte to go and fight for the WBA title. So when the mist clears, you've got Wilder or Fury, you've got Joshua, you've got Hughie Fury, and then you'd have Dillian Whyte, WBA champion. Who cares about his career? Well, you see, low land profits. I'm here to talk about management of boxing. I'm not here to talk about personalities. I'm here to talk about management and looking after a fighter and making sure a fighter makes as much money as possible. You know that won't happen. Why won't it happen? Why won't it happen? Why won't it happen? Yes, but you're not listening to me. You're not listening. I'm not saying he shouldn't fight Luis Ortiz. I'm saying he can make a title defense against Luis Ortiz. That's what I'm saying to you. So he can keep calling out Luis Ortiz. Let him become WBA title. Let him do something Luis Ortiz still hasn't done yet, which is become a world champion. Luis Ortiz has got no fan base. I've said it before. Absolutely no fan base. Safety first. It's not safety first. See, this is what I'm talking about. How's it safety first? How is that safety first? You see lowland profits. You're the type of guy that when a guy takes a top fight, gets knocked out, you call him a bum, and you finish his career. If Dillian Whyte gets knocked out by Ortiz, you'll be here laughing your head off, and Dillian Whyte's career is in tatters. Can you put it back together? I don't think you can. That's what I'm talking about. Safety first is killing boxing. How can the safety first be killing boxing? If safety first is saving boxers, if anything. No, it isn't, because Whyte fights in the entertaining fashion. He can come back if he loses to Ortiz. I'm not bothered about this fight happening, to be honest. I agree with you, what you're saying here, man. Yeah, what the hell? I don't know. There's only two sets of people that want to see the Lewis Ortiz fight. No, three sets of people that want Dillian Whyte to fight Lewis Ortiz. I'll get them here. Matchroom and Eddie Hearn supporters. One, which is a lot of them. The Hearnators, I call them. Two, people who don't like Dillian Whyte. There you go. And three, people who don't understand boxing business. So they're the three categories of the people that want Dillian Whyte to fight Lewis Ortiz. There is no business sense in this fight now. Strategically, I go take on Fraser Quendo in a vacant title fight. I beat Fraser Quendo. Yeah. And the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Dillian, the body snatcher. What? Becomes world champion. First defense against the dangerous Lewis Ortiz. A mouth-watering fight, according to Adam Smith. And then what I say is this, strategically, and hear me strategically. So that fight won't happen until sometime next year, in the summertime, spring, summer. Lewis Ortiz is going to be even older. You beat the brakes of Lewis Ortiz. Older. After Lewis Ortiz, you look around. You see Derek Chisora might want it. Fight Derek Chisora. Beep and old Derek, because by then Derek would have probably had another hard fight against somebody that Match would have pushed him in with. So beat up an old Derek. Then you fight Derek. Then you got the Joshua fight. You could do exactly what David Haye did. 2 title offenses and rush for a unification bout. Between that time, one of them heavyweights between Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder, one of those three would have got beat. And in between that, Hughie Fury would have been pushing himself for the IBF. That's how you do that stuff. That's how you do it. Ortiz has verbally agreed to come to UK fight. If he swerves this challenge, Whyte will look bad in my opinion. Well, hold on. What about Anthony Joshua swerving Deontay Wilder? Don't talk about swerving. Don't talk about swerving. He never fought Lewis Ortiz when Lewis Ortiz was mandatory. Don't talk about swerving. I told you, proper match room in the room today. Whyte can get WBA title belt, and it would bring more attention to Joshua rematch. Business-wise, that is the way to go. That's why I agree with you, what you say. Wait for a title fight with AJ or Fury or Wilder. Neither. Make your own decision. How does Dillian Whyte get respect knocking out Lewis Ortiz when a bum in Wilder, according to a lot of you people on here, that, okay, how many of you in here think that Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight in the world in this room? People say Ortiz was old and inactive. Whyte beat him. That's what I've said. Vinny. Somebody's talking some sense here. As a fan, I want to see it. But to be honest, I'm worried for Whyte. If I pick Ortiz to stop him, but full respect for Whyte, he's throwing what to be a throwback fighter, but he's risking this. Throwback fighters don't work in this era. Throwback fighters don't work in this era. It's about business. If you want to do throwback, go back to 1950s or the 60s or the 70s or the 80s now. Throwback fighters don't work. Well, all right. Errol Spencer's a throwback fighter. Nobody wants to fight him. Terence Crawford is a throwback fighter. Nobody wants to fight him. It's not about being a throwback fighter. It's about having business sense, making the right fights at the right time. Why Wilder versus Fury works is because both guys are friends. Both guys get on and both guys want it. That's different. I sound like Tunde Ajayi. I do not defend the fight that Yard is having now. I'm sorry, I can't defend it. No way, shape, or form can I defend this fight that Yard is having against whoever the guy is. Don't care. Not interested. Miller said, "Don't talk to me about. Do not talk to me about Big Bully Miller. Big Bully Miller. Now you want to talk about a duck and a swerve. I don't hear anybody talking about Big Bully Miller's swerve from Pulev to fight ancient Thomas Adamic. I don't hear anybody talking about that. Because guess what? We got Matchroom in the house. That's what I'm talking about. No, why would you want to fight Miller? Again, Miller's even worse than Chisora. Miller's even worse than Parker. Miller's even worse than Luis Ortiz. Who's Big Baby Miller's biggest win, please? For all the talk of Big Baby Miller, he's got a big mouth. Who is Big Baby Miller's biggest win to date? Somebody please tell me. Bring him up. So, Big Baby Miller, I swear, for a number of reasons. One, A, who's he fought and who's he beat? There we go. That's the first thing for Big Baby Miller. Second, Big Baby Miller should have fought Pulev. Hughie Fury's fighting Pulev. Nobody's giving Hughie Fury credit for fighting Pulev. Because guess what? He's promoted by Mick Hennessy. That's why. That's why. If Joshua were to fight Pulev, there'd be a big jump up and down about Joshua fighting Pulev because he's promoted by Mick Hennessy. There's a lot of people in this room that I know are either affiliated with Matchroom, paid by Matchroom, or Matchroom staff themselves listening in. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. But not for me. So I support Anthony Yard, but I don't support the latest move. However, I will talk about Anthony Yard in a minute. I'm going to do a video on that because I've got to do a video on it. Yeah, you'll talk about well done, Cameron, for interviewing Jennings last night. Good for you. Well done. Great stuff. Everyone check it out. Have you got a link for people to listen to that, by the way, Cameron? Look, at least Ortiz has some cred. And to be honest, apart from an AJ fight, who can Whyte fight? Oh, my good Lord. Right. I think I'm going to end this now because I'm going round and round and round in circles. So, Cameron, if you could just send that link through or just let people know where they can see that interview, would be great. But yeah, again, Dillian Whyte. Yard looks like he's fighting someone I used to work alongside with in the Amazon warehouse. Well, we're going to talk about what Yard when I come back in this fight. You won't come back in this link. Listen, to me, I like boxing business. I don't like fan business. I like boxing business. And as a, potentially becoming a boxing manager myself now, I can't do fan business. I'm sorry. This channel is not about fan business, it's about boxing business. When the fight's made, the fans can go and see the fight. But sorry. Right. When I come back, we'll talk Anthony Yard. Don't forget to rate, subscribe. Oh, and by the way, hey, 14,000 subscribers. Can you believe that, people? Amazing. We're getting there. See you soon.